Yo, what's good, guys? I'm your boy Mike B, back with another video. I know it's been a minute since I uploaded. I took some time away to focus on my career. Now I feel like I'm at a point in time that I got more free time to get back to doing content. One thing that I always loved was, talking sports and making sports content. But today we're gonna talk about one of the best times of the summer, the off season, man. NBA free agents. We've seen some good trades happening, some shocking trades happening, some player movement. Always an exciting time to see new faces go to new places. So without further ado, man, I'm gonna give you guys my opinion about some of the trades that took place and some of the free agent signing that happened so far. So without further ado, let's get into it. So of course, we had the first trade that struck out, which was the Orlando Magic getting Desmond Bain. They sent out KCP, Cole Anthony, and one, two, three, four, five first round picks to the Memphis Grizzlies. We all knew the Magic were looking for a more 3-point shooter. I thought it could have been my guy Kobe White from my Chicago Bulls, but ended up being Desmond Bain, which is not a bad pickup for them. He can fit right in. He was tremendous in Memphis. So yeah, I like this move for the Magic. They continue to go all in on this core of Wagner and Paulo, and the East next year is going to be wide open. So I can really see this team making a great run. So yeah, that's a huge dub for the Orlando Magic. As far as the Memphis, KCP had a down year last year, but he's still a solid vet. Cole Anthony was great for in that little bench role for the Orlando Magic, so he can provide some offense off the bench. Hopefully, he don't get in the way of Scottie Pippen Jr. because I like what Scottie Pippen Jr. brought to this team at the backup point guard role last year. So that could be a log jam there. And they still got four more picks to try to make some more build this team around in the future. So both teams to me, I feel like got a W in this trade. The next trade we're going to talk about is the big one so far, the Kevin Durant going to the Houston Rockets. I was shocked that Jalen Green was in this trade. I thought it would have been a trade centered around Jabari Smith Jr. Considering Devin Booker and Bradley Beal was already the two guard spots in Phoenix, but no, man. Jalen Green is the one to head to Phoenix. Dylan Brooke, the first round pick, and that which was the 10th pick in the previous draft that just passed, and four second round picks was also sent to them as well. I can't really say. I don't know what the future holds for Jalen Green or what the Phoenix Suns going to do. So I can't really say it was anything above a C grade for them. But I kind of do like Jalen Green. I think he got a bad rep, especially from this last playoff run where he did not perform so great. But I do see potential in him. It's just I don't know what Phoenix doing right now, so I'm just gonna wait and see and see what they do with Bradley Beal. Could him and D Book play together? Of course, we've seen him and Brad Beal play, but both of these guys are not elite defender. So yeah, man. But I do like Dylan Brooke. I think he's a culture changer. You can say what you want. Any team he's been on, it just seems like they just always had that fight in them. From back to Memphis, uh, when he was with Houston, that young team, they had that dog in them, and I just want to see him play with Kevin Durant. So I'm kind of sad that he was in this deal, but I think he's going to bring Phoenix some toughness as well, and of course KD to Houston, A++. Didn't really have to give up anything. Still kept all the great young pieces in core. Uh, you could run him at the four, you could next to Shingun, or you could play him at the three. You still got Tari Eason, you still got Jabari Smith. Freddie just returned on the deal. We're gonna talk about a little bit later. So yeah, man. Of course, man. I'm just KD, man, he gotta bring one home, man. This team is too good, barring any significant injury. KD at least got to get one chip before he retired in Houston. Uh, Next trade we got was the Boston Celtics receiving Anthony Simons and two future second round picks. The Trailblazers get Drew Holiday. Curious to see what the Trailblazers going to do with Drew Holiday. They traded for him. They traded for him before, but they ended up trading him to Boston. Now they getting Drew Holiday back, which is crazy. Celtics get a guard, Anthony Simons, to play next to Derek White. I think that'd be great for those two guys. Derek White can complement the what assignments lack in defense. Give you another guy who can put up points while Jason Tatum rehab his injury. So I like this trade for the Boston Celtics. The Portland Trail Blazers, I think they can get something back for Drew Holiday because he's a winner. He's a proven winner. I don't care how old he's get. They're gonna get something in return for Drew Holiday. Not probably not a lot, but they're gonna get something in return. Next trade that caught me off guard was the Wizards and the Pelicans. The Wizards trade CJ. The Wizards receive CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and the future second round pick. The Pelicans get Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the number 4 pick in the draft. I didn't suspect this to happen. Uh, I love for CJ Bronze to the Pelicans. I feel like Jordan Poole was just a younger CJ McCollum, but just not as savvy and high IQ what CJ McCollum brought to that team. But the Wizards stack up on veterans, man. They already got Chris Middleton. They got CJ McCollum. So they got a nice veteran team to mix in with they young players they got. So I kind of like that aspect. I know for a fact CJ probably gonna get rerouted to another team. I've always been a fan of CJ McCollum. His game is just smooth. I would like him. I would still like him on a veteran team, but I can see him getting dealt by the trade deadline. Jordan Poole get a chance to try to compete for a play in, play out spot because the Wizards wasn't really trying to win. He get to play next to Zion Williamson. So I mean it's a solid move for the Pelicans. Jordan Poole still trying to get that bad rep off. That Wizards stink up off him. And then we got the last trade that took place was the three-team trade with the Celtics, Hawks, and Brooklyn Nets. The Hawks gets Kristaps Porzingis. I'm talking about them in a little bit because they have been one of my favorite team as far as the offseason, what they done. I really like what they've been doing so far. The Boston get George Niang, second round pick. Nets get Terrence Mann and another pick that was the 22nd pick in the draft a couple of days ago. And Hawks get an additional second round pick along with Kristaps Porzingis. So those have been the trades that took place so far. All pretty much, solid trade. Nothing too crazy outside of the Kevin Durant trade. The Desmond Bain trade kind of caught me off guard, but everything else, kind of makes sense. So let's talk about some of the free agency. So of course, the big free agent fish potentially was LeBron James. He ended up picking up his $52.6 million option to return to the Lakers, but it's been rumored that he may look for a trade, and if so, I think it's the writing is written on the wall. If LeBron do end up asking for a trade from the Lakers, it's going to be the New York Knicks. It just makes so much sense. One of the other biggest market other than LA to play for. Uh, they still looking for a head coach, so LeBron James can have a say so in who's the head coach. Right now, I think the league candidate is Mike Brown. You can probably throw Steve Nash name in there. They doing a podcast together, and it wouldn't take a lot to get LeBron James to New York. You can probably offer Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson. Probably add some picks to it. Those two guys, the Lakers could be interesting too as well because they can fit next to Luca. You get a guy like Mikal Bridges next to Luca, and then a defensive big who can anchor the paint and Mitch Robinson. I mean that's a solid return for LeBron James. Or if you want to do Mikal and OG, still two good wings you can put next to Luca. Or if you want to just get plain old sexy, you can even offer Cat. And I think Cat and Luca can play well together. So it just makes sense if LeBron James were to ask for a trade to go to New York. is in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks just came off a Eastern Conference final appearance. The East going to be wide open next year. It just makes so much sense for LeBron James to ask for a trade there to go to New York. So I think that's the number one team. If LeBron James does ask for a trade, the Knicks is going to be at the top. James Harden agreed to return to a deal back to the Clippers, 2 years, $81 million deal. Kyrie Irving agreed to a 3 year, $119 million deal to return to the Dallas Mavericks. Julius Randle agreed to a 3 year, $100 million deal to return to the Timberwolves. Those were the top four big guys that could potentially be free agents in this year's class. Then Miles Turner leaves the Pacers to go to the Milwaukee Bucks in a 4 year, $107 million deal, which we end up finding out more that the Bucks ended up releasing Damian Lillard. Like this move right here for Miles Turner just stamped that Giannis was going to stick around long term for the Bucks. But I still do believe Giannis will. I don't think this Dame Lillard release is going to affect Giannis' decision because this was the only way they had any other options to retool this team around Giannis to make one last push, and it just didn't seem like these two really match. Like they meshed, but it really didn't seem like what it could have been more. And then you add Doc Rivers always coming up short as the head coach when he got talent around him. So I think if Dame Lillard wasn't hurt, I think they would have still probably looked for trades to trying to get something in return for Damian Lillard. It just sucks that coming off that blood clot, getting back to perform in the playoffs, then having the injuries, and then being out for next year, then being released is all just it feel horrible for Dame Lillard to go through that. So I do believe it was a chance that Dame Lillard could probably even ask for a trade if he wasn't injured. So I think it was a mutual agreement for all parties to have this happen because something just wasn't clicking about this Bucks team. They needed to get younger. So I think it just sucks that what Dame had went through, and to end up like this, and it sucks because this is one of those situations that is always it's not as good on the other side. Grass is not always greener on the other side. Dame had everything in Portland, get traded to Milwaukee, had two really, not I wouldn't say bad years, but not to what they thought they was gonna, to do with the Milwaukee Bucks team with the blood clot, then an injury, and now being released. But hey, man, he can go to any other team he won't. Don't have to can take the vet minimum and still get the money from the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's a win-win for Dame. I think it's a win for the Milwaukee Bucks because they don't get Miles Turner without getting this deal done. So yeah, Freddie returned to the Rockets on a 2 year, $50 million deal. Nasri, of course, we seen agreed to a 5 year, $125 million deal with the Timberwolves. The Hawks get the kill Alexander Walker on a 4 year, $62 million deal. Like I said, this is one of my teams that I've been liking what they've been doing this offseason. To me, they kind of mimicking the Indiana Pacers. If Kristaps can get them at least 50 to 60 games, that is a huge plus for that team. He can be what Miles Turner was for the Pacers, that big who can stretch the floor and still protect the paint. You got Johnson who can be that switch army knight, how Pascal Siakam is. Of course, we know Trae Young is the engine, just like Tyrese Halliburton, and you fill that in with two-way wings. You got Dyson Daniels. You just signed Alexander Walker, and I forgot they just signed Luke Kennard, the shooter from Memphis. So I like what they're doing. Like I said, the East is going to be open with the injuries, so this team can be a team that can move up to be maybe from the third seed or the sixth seed. So kudos to the Atlanta Hawks for for the all season they have and taking advantage of that window of this year and the injuries that's been going on. Dorian Finney-Smith leaving the Lakers, signed to the Houston Rockets, agreed to a 4-year, $53 million deal. That's another team who've been killing it this offseason. Ty Jerome leave Cleveland to go to Memphis on a 3-year, $28 million deal. This next deal kind of was a head scratcher. Brook Lopez leaving Milwaukee to sign to the Clippers. I thought he could have been a potential signing for the Boston Celtics. Just because the Clippers already have a center in place with Zubac, and now what does this mean for Zubac, or do you bring Brook Lopez off the bench? I guess we gotta wait and see. Gary Trent Jr. re-signed with the Milwaukee Bucks on a 2-year, $7.5 million deal. Dennis Schroeder leaves the Pistons to head to the Sacramento Kings to be their point guard on a 3-year, $15 million deal. Tyus Jones lead the Phoenix Suns to sign with the Orlando Magic on a 1-year, $7 million deal. Karis LeVert leave the Hawks to sign with the Pistons on a 2-year, $29 million deal. Bobby Portis agreed to a 3-year, $44 million deal to return to the Milwaukee Bucks. Jordan Clarkson was waived and will sign with the New York Knicks. His teammate John Collins will pick up his $26.5 million player option. Chris Middleton pick up his $33.3 million player option. Matisse Thybulle is still in the league. He picked up his $11.5 million option to return for the Trailblazers. Clint Capella also joins the Houston Rockets on a 3-year, $21.5 million deal. They got Steven Adams and Shane Goon, so their center position is looking great over there. A mix of a variety of different skill set. Luke Cornett gets the bag. 4 years, $41 million deal with the San Antonio Spurs. Look, when he was with the Bulls, he looked like he could be just an average Joe, but him with the Celtics, he was hooping. And that just shows you that how Bulls can mishandle players, because he looked like a whole different player with the Boston Celtics, and he ended up getting a deal with the San Antonio Spurs. Shout out to Luke Kennard, man. D'Angelo Russell leaves the Nets to sign with the Dallas Mavericks on a 2-year, $13 million deal to be their starting point guard until Kyrie Irving return. Davion Mitchell returned to the Heat, 2-year, $24 million deal. Trey Jones returned to the My Bulls on a 3-year, $24 million deal. Kelly Oubre pick up his $8.4 million player option. Andre Drummond pick up his $5 million player option. Torian Prince agreed to a 2-year, $7 million deal to return to the Bucks. Like I said before, Luke Kennard is heading to the A-Town on a 1-year, $11 million deal. Bruce Brown returned to the Denver Nuggets on a 1-year deal. Also, the Denver Nuggets received Cam Johnson in a trade that sent Michael Porter Jr. to the Brooklyn Nets and an unprotected first round pick. Forgot to mention that when I was talking about the trades. This also is a win-win for both teams. It's a win for the Denver Nuggets because they get some cap relief because Cam Johnson make half of what Michael Porter Jr. is making. He can play the 3 or the 4, or he can come off the bench, and now you got cap relief to go and get you a wing guy to fill that hole. And if you want to go Bruce Brown, whoever you want to put at the 2, Julian, whoever, and you can get more. You get another wing. That'd be nice. Maybe you can try to finagle a way to get Kaminga here on the contract. I don't know how that would work, but now they got cap relief to go out there and continue to improve this roster. Of course, a win for the Brooklyn Nets because you get another player next to Cam Smith, Cam Thompson. I mean, those two guys are elite scorers. One of those guys gonna be 1A. One of the guys gonna be 1B. And I'm curious to see how those guys coexist. Both guys got flamethrowers when it comes to shooting, and I think I can put a dream. We can finally see him play as the primary ball handler, the go-to scorer, not as a third or fourth option as he was with the Denver Nuggets. So that's a win-win for both teams. Kevon Looney is signing a deal with the Pelicans on a 2-year, $16 million deal. Sam Merrill returned to the Cavs on a 4-year, $38 million deal. Paul Reed returned to the Pistons on a 2-year, $11 million deal. Nick Batum agreed to a 2-year, $11 million deal. And that's pretty much it. We still got some good names that's still flowing around. Like Ben Simmons still looking for a deal. Monte Morris, the veteran Kyle Lowry, Jackson Hayes, Malcolm Brogdon is still out there on the market. Unrestricted free agent. Larry Nance Jr. still in the market. Who else we still got on the market? Anthony Melton is still available. Tim Hardaway Jr. is still available. Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook is still available. Two great veterans. Um, Al Horford, Malik Beasley, DeAndre Ayton, Josh Giddey, and Johnny Kaminga still looking for deals from their team. So yeah, man, we still got some more moves that need to be made with this free agency. So it ain't over with. Just a quick, my thoughts about what's been going on, man. I'm curious to see what you guys' opinion. Make sure you guys drop y'all opinions down in the comment. And this time I'm probably gonna do once a week. Just come here and give you guys update about sports. Still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with this channel, but I know for sure it's gonna be a rebrand. I'm probably gonna get away from covering the hometown team because I just like sports in general. But so yeah, man. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.